Hi everybody, this is Bob Teigenhoff, the personal trainer at the Integrative Medical Group of Irvine, and I'd like to welcome you to the orientation session of our online at-home beginner's exercise program. Now, the purpose of the show today is to show you how to do the exercises that we'll be doing every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific time on Dr. Gersh's Instagram Live program. And we'll be doing them for the duration of the COVID-19 stay-at-home orders. But before we jump into that, I'd like to address a couple of issues first. Number one is this class, this beginner's class, going to be appropriate for you? Well, if you haven't exercised at all, or if you haven't exercised in a very long time, you're out of shape, you've led probably a fairly sedentary lifestyle, then this may be the perfect place to start. Nothing that we do is going to be terribly demanding. I'm going to show you how to do the exercises. We'll spend some time in terms of making sure that your form is correct, things like that. And then from there, we'll go ahead and start doing the exercise routines. The next question, of course, is whether or not the exercising at all is something that's safe for you, given your current state of affairs. Now, fortunately, there is an organization called the American College of Sports Medicine. It's the organization that I belong to and that does my certification. And they've put together a logic tree sheet that's on your screen right now. And if you follow the algorithm that's in the middle of the page, by asking a series of questions, you can determine whether or not it's safe for you to exercise. It takes just a couple of minutes to do, and without giving away the punchline, the vast majority of people, it's perfectly fine and safe to exercise. But it will tell you that if you have a pre-existing or current cardiovascular problem or pulmonary problem, that maybe you want to check with your physician first and get an approval before you begin an exercise program. Again, we're not going to be doing anything all that challenging, all that demanding. So the vast majority of people, even if they haven't exercised in a very long time, are going to be perfectly okay in terms of doing this program. The third thing that I wanted to address was the relevance of this program to COVID-19. And in fact, are there benefits that you get from exercise when it comes to either contracting the disease or in terms of the severity of the disease? Now, obviously, it's way, way too early for any kind of research specifically on coronavirus 19, the COVID-19, to tell us really what the story is along those lines. However, there has been a fair amount of research done over the last 20 years or so that address the question of viral infection versus the benefits of exercise. Now, unfortunately, most of that research has zeroed in on HIV, which makes perfect sense considering the fact that that was the viral infection of greatest concern to society during that period. There is some evidence, however, that addresses the question of exercise and coronaviruses and influenza in particular. So a research study was done about 11 years ago at the University of Illinois, and they looked at 144 older adults, on average 70 years of age, sedentary, hadn't been doing any exercise at all, and then they put them on a 10-month aerobic exercise program. Again, nothing terribly demanding, terribly stressful, but a nice aerobic program that in fact improved their cardiovascular, cardiorespiratory performance and health. And what they found was that when they got the influenza vaccine following this 10-month period, that they held, the vaccine maintained its protective capabilities within the blood, within the serum, through the entire stretch of the flu season, which was not the case in the control group, which didn't do the exercise. Or actually, they did a very mild form of stretching exercises during the time that the others were doing more aerobics. And so the strength of the vaccine did not hold for them, but it did hold through the entire flu season for those that did the exercise. And beyond that, there was also some benefit in terms of the severity of illness, if they did in fact get the flu, was much less for the group that exercised. And also one other benefit was that they seemed to sleep much better as well. So in fact, they were able to get significant amounts of benefit from exercising. And really at this point, the best we can do is sort of cross our fingers and hope that the same holds up for this coronavirus, COVID-19. Now with that, we're going to start doing the exercise program. And here is a list of the exercises that we're going to be doing over the course of these next couple of weeks on Instagram Live. So the first exercise we're going to do is the overhead press. We're going to need 2 dumbbells. They can be 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds. Start at a really comfortable low rate. And then you're going to need 1 chair to sit on, just like this, a nice folding chair. So I sit on the chair. I'm going to bring the 2 dumbbells up to my shoulders, and then I'm just going to press them overhead. Bring them back down, that's 1. Do it again, that's 2. Then I go up to 3, then up to 4, 5, keeping my back nice and straight. I'm not hunched one way or the other. I'm elongating my spine as much as possible. 6, that would be 7, 8, 9, and 10. And that's the overhead press. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Again, choose a weight to begin with. It's very light. If you find that any of these weights are too heavy, just simply do it with your arms. So in that case, it would just be like this. 1, 2, 3, and so forth. Pretty simple, pretty easy to do. The second exercise we're going to do is the Dumbbell High Row. Now for that, I only need 1 dumbbell, so I'm going to put the other one down. And I'm actually going to stand here sideways to you. I'm going to put 1 hand on the chair seat, just like that, and the other hand is here, and I'm just going to bring the dumbbell up to my chest as high as I can and let it go back down. That's 1. It comes up. I'm really trying to get my elbow as high as I possibly can. I'm not going to keep the weight down here. I'm not going to try to position it. It's all just coming from my elbow. So my elbow goes up and my hand just follows with the weight in it. When I come down, I'm not going to drop the weight and my arm because that's going to put a lot of pressure on my shoulder joint. So I'm going to control the motion through the entire range. So it goes up and it goes down about the same speed. Just up and down. Now when I'm done with that, I'm going to turn around to the other side, and I'm going to do the other side up and down, just like that. 2 and 3, just like that. Straight up and down. It should end up, the weight is right around my armpit, okay? Just in that same plane, just like that. Okay, so that's the Dumbbell High Row. Next is the Romanian Deadlift. This is one of those motions that seems very easy, very simple. You're just bending at the hips, but there's actually a little bit of learning and practice that goes into this movement. So I'm going to bend my knees just a little bit, and I'm going to try to keep that bend in my knees throughout the entire motion, both going down and coming back up. I'm going to rest the dumbbells on my thighs, and then I'm simply going to bend at the knees, all of the flexion, or bend at the hips, all of the flexion is in my hips. And I'm going to come down like this, and then come right back up. I'm going to go down. It's a very slow, gradual motion. Down and back up. Now, typically when you do a motion like this, the muscle is stretching out at the same time you're doing it. So it's very, very often the case that each repetition that you do, you actually go down a little bit further and a little bit further and a little bit further. So don't worry if on the first rep you're not as far down, you're not touching your toes, you're not doing something like that. Really doesn't matter. It stretches out over time. So again, that's what I'm doing. Now, if I do it from the side, you can see that my legs, my knees are slightly bent. They're not way down like this, but slightly bent. And I go down. I'm bending at the hips. My back is not bowed like this, but still pretty straight. And then I come back up and notice that my knees are still bent. Now, we all learn in standing up since we were very small children that when you stand up, you snap your knees straight. We're going to try not to do that. That's difficult, but we'll see how far we can get with it. So once again, I'm going to go down and back up is 1, down, back up is 2, down, back up is 3. And that's the Romanian deadlift. So next what we're going to do is an exercise called stand-ups. And for the stand-up, I'm going to sit on the edge of my chair. I'll cross my hands, put them on the opposite shoulders, and all I'm going to do is, just as the name implies, I'm going to stand up. I stand up and I sit down. That's 1, and this is 2, 3, just like that. Now, the reason that we do this is that as we get older, one of the muscle groups that lose strength fairly commonly are the thigh muscles, the quadriceps. And it's the quadriceps that are essential in getting out of chairs. So as people age, you typically see they're putting their hands on the arms of the chair and they're pushing themselves out of the chair because their quads are no longer strong enough to get them up. And so this exercise really helps us stay mobile and functional and getting up out of chairs very easily, or at least much more easily than before. And we've had great success with this exercise with quite a few people who were actually at a point where they were starting to struggle somewhat with doing those kinds of motions. So once again, your arms are up here, and it's just up 1 and down, up 2 and down, up 3 and down. And ultimately, when we're doing the workouts on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we'll be doing sets of 10. If you can do 10, great. If you can't do 10, do as many as you can. What you will find is, fortunately, we never lose our ability to build strength and muscle. No matter how old we get, we maintain that. So that if you start at a lower level, that's fine, because over time it will just build and get better and better and better. Next, we're going to do biceps curls, and these can be done either holding the dumbbells like this in a palms up position, or in a neutral position like this. They rest at my side. I keep my elbows in, and we're going to do it alternating because it creates a little bit of an imbalance. And so You have to engage your core muscles a little bit more, so you get a little bit more exercise out of this one than otherwise. And so it's just going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, for our purposes, that would be 5 because we've done, even though we've counted to 10, each arm's done 5. I can do them palms up like this. I can do them starting neutral and going, turning and having them palms up. There are 100 different ways that you can do this. All of them are good. They all exercise slightly different muscle bundles in the structures that we're exercising, but they're all fine. And for our purposes at any rate, do them however you feel most comfortable. And again, you can start at the lightest weight or no weight at all, and then over time, as it becomes comfortable, then you increase the weights and you'll make progress in that way. Now, having just done the biceps, work the biceps and exercise those, we're going to do the opposite muscle on the arm, and that's going to be the triceps. We're going to do that with the bent over triceps extensions. So similar to the high rows, we're going to put one arm down on the chair. We're going to bring our upper arm up parallel to the back, to our back. Our forearm is holding, and hand are holding the weight, and all we're going to do is extend straight out to the back. That's 1. Out to the back, 2. Out to the back, 3. And again, I'm bringing the weight down nice and smoothly and slowly, about the same speed as it goes up, just like that. All right? And when I finish 10 on that side, then I simply switch over to the other side. My upper arm is parallel, pretty much so, with my back, and then I'm extending straight out. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to do 5. And there we go. And that's the triceps extension. Okay, so sitting down once more, we're going to do the last exercise, and this one is more for the core muscles. And for that, we're going to take both of the dumbbells that we have. We're going to weave our fingers together, so we're holding both of them. And now I've got my feet firmly on the ground. I don't want my feet moving around on this. And I'm just going to turn to the side as far as I can, and then back to the other side as far as I can. That's 1. And then I go back this way, just like that. And now that's 2. Then I'm going to go this way again. And this way is 3. Now, when you first start doing this, you may find that you have some somewhat limited mobility in terms of being able to do that. That's fine. Everybody starts where they start. What we're going to try to do is, by engaging those muscles over time and activating them a little bit more, we're going to strengthen them. We're going to loosen them up a little bit as well, so they'll be able to move further and move with more confidence and strength through the entire range of motion. And that's pretty much it for the exercises we're going to be doing on the beginning exercise program. Like I said, they'll be on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 9 o'clock. That's Pacific time. And they will be on Instagram Live on Dr. Gersh's channel. And here again is how to get there. Basically, you have to use your cell phone in order to access Instagram. So download the Instagram app on your cell phone, and then you can simply click on it, tap on it, and go to dr.Felice Gersh. I want to thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to working with you next week when we start doing the regular exercise programs. Stay safe and stay well. Thank you.